Well, this is the, I guess the garage. Some people in America, they call this a man cave or something. And that's the Jeepney that I'm working on. And this is my little home gym. And this is what I got to work with. I'm trying to stay fit. And yeah. So, not what I'm used to, but I'm trying to fight. Oh, what's that over there? What is that? Look at that. I'm working on my Jeepney. I've been kind of showing people what I'm doing on it. It's a really nice one. It needs some work, but it runs pretty good. The engine's good, doesn't leak anything, holds its oil. The brakes are good. It needs some tranny work. It's a little tricky to shift it. I'm okay with it, but the sinkholes aren't great. But it's a pretty solid vehicle. And like I said, the chrome and the body's in pretty good shape. Actually, really good shape. So what I've done is I'm doing the body. You can see we're here where I sanded it. And that's ready to paint. I just have to clean the whole place up, get the dust out. And I'm using just spray paint. I'm not getting crazy fancy. And I'm using, that's not it. But I'm using canned spray paint. It's a little tricky to do a wide area like that, but we'll see how it comes out. I've done the wheels already in red. And it's gonna look good against the black. If I had the money and time, I would, new tires and chrome wheels, let's say. But right now, with the condition of what's going on in the world, chrome wheels is the least important thing on my mind or anybody's mind. But I've got time here. I'm actually gonna be house quarantined as of 5 o'clock today, all of Luzon. And our ministry office is in Manila, and I can't get there now for maybe a month. So I've got some projects here. Of course, the biggest projects is spending some great time with the Lord. But also therapy for me is working on stuff. So I'm gonna be working on getting this thing, getting it, finish the sanding, painting, and just to show people that might not know how to do this, I'm using, somebody painted this with a brush. You see all the strokes, brush strokes? They're hard to get out. I don't have a machine. So what I'm using is 100 grit paper, 100 grit to get the brush strokes out. And then I'm using 150 grit to get the sandpaper marks out, and then 180 grit to get it smoother. And then you can go higher grit, but it's not necessary for this. And after I finish this side here, I'm going to get the place cleaned up, get the garage cleaned up, as dust-free as I can, maybe wet the floor a little bit. And I'm wish me good luck. I'm gonna take the black spray paint and hopefully I can get it along and keep it wet enough that it looks somewhat like a professional job out of a can. Okay, I'm gonna be sanding these brush marks out that was hand painted. I'm gonna be using 100 grit to sand it out, and then 150 to get the sand marks from the 100 grit out, and then 180 to really smooth it down. And now I'm going over this with 150 grit. And this is getting lines out of this 100 grit, which is pretty coarse. And this is breaking down those lines. And as I said before, I'm going to take 180 grit after this, and it's ready to paint. And if you don't have a Dremel tool to get into these difficult spots, just take a piece of scrap sandpaper. This is the 150 I'm doing now. And you can get into these tight spots just perfectly well without any, without a Dremel tool or any sophisticated equipment. You just get in there and actually holding the phone at the same time doing it. That takes more skill than maybe capable of, but I'm trying. And I don't know if this is gonna help anybody or not. I'm pretty handy on projects, and back in America, I in my years I did hardwood flooring and some construction, and I was in sales, lots of different things in my life before I got into full-time ministry. We used to run camps, a nonprofit for free camps for underprivileged children, and work on my business. It got to the point where I couldn't do both, and I got into ministry. And I've done lots of different things. I'm not a genius at this stuff. I'm just good with my hands. God's given me a gift. So if this helps anyone work on a project, there's a body guy, a car guy is going to look at me and think this is pretty primitive for what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of people that actually know less than me, and they might be interested. They might have something like this laying around. They want to make it look better, and it's not a whole lot of money, just a lot of elbow grease. But when this is all done, it's going to be really pretty, and it'll be very satisfying. And like I say, it's great therapy if you need therapy. God bless. Hello, everyone. I've got this Jeepney pretty well sanded. And of course, I don't have a shop vac or any way to get this dust out of here, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna spray paint this thing without having dust all over the place. So I've got this here. A lot of you know what that is. Traditional Filipino broom. And they work pretty well. And that's what I got. So that's what I'm gonna clean this place up with. I made little discoveries I'm doing this. One discovery is that there's a little bit of rust through right there. And as I kept sanding, just a little tiny bit. I'm not gonna worry about it. That's the fun of this. This is not a brand new Ferrari or something, so I could just enjoy myself. Well, I figured before I painted, I should do a little more cleaning. I opened up the hood compartment, and I realized it's just greasy and nasty. I don't have a pressure washer. Oh, by the way, that holds the hood up, the shovel there. And so I got his Windex paper towels, and I'm just gonna kind of clean it up. Just spray it on, let it soak a little bit. It pretty much slow, but it'll do it. So I'm gonna just get it looking a little bit, not gonna go crazy, not detailing it. I'm just gonna get this area looking a little more respectable before I paint the vehicle. Well, I'm gonna get back to work on this Jeepney that I have here. Different project. It's looking a whole lot better here, and I wasn't gonna do a whole lot with the engine compartment, but it looks so nasty. Just paint the firewall on the radiator and a little bit of red on the bottom there, on the cross member. Just a little here and there. And I couldn't get this, I guess you call it the cowl, I'm not sure what you call this, but I couldn't get all the paint off. So I'm painting it and just taping it up and painting that to go with the back firewall. But it really looks a lot better. Back to the Jeepney. I would say you've got maybe 5 hours, at least 5 hours or 6 hours of hand sanding to get this body paintable. And there's lots of things, the grommets to go around, and this paint was real thick. On the other hand, if you had a buffer, this whole place would be full of dust. So that's a good thing. And the other good thing is it's really good therapy. Now, I know people look at me like that. And I got some issues with my wrist a little bit and some other areas that the enemy's trying to tear me down a little bit. I'm not getting younger. And doing this is actually good for you. It builds up muscle tone and it keeps the joints working. So if someone's thinking I'm absolutely insane to be doing this, this mess all by hand, there's actually a lot of positives to it. And I would say, let's just take a guess, 6 hours of sanding, and then I clean up, and then I tape it up, dust it, and paint it. So I'll keep you posted. I've never done vlogging before. I have no idea if people are gonna think this is absolutely stupid, or if people are gonna find it interesting. It's all new to me. But you know what? I'm stuck out here actually by myself right now with my dog, for a month. So it seems like a pretty good time to start making new friends and spreading some cheer. We got to keep living. And this mess that the world's in right now, it will pass and be a new era. But New Year's can be exciting. There's always new opportunities when things change in the world. So you have to look at that. That's why I ask you to. Well, I'm having a whole lot of fun doing this. I said before, this is good therapy to be busy on something, especially physical. This is therapy, but this therapy is getting a little bit tiring, but it's getting there. It's getting there slowly but surely. Once this side is done, my sanding on this vehicle is finished. Oh. Look who's hot and tired. Well, it hasn't been started in months. What, a couple months? And it didn't want to start. It started finally, and it sounds pretty good. The little Toyota motor sounds good. Hello, this is Joseph and Rusty. Say hello, Rusty. Okay, and we're working on the Jeepney today, aren't we? Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. We're taping. And it doesn't take rocket science, just patience. Just taping up the chrome, trying to get it on good. Getting ready to spray it. And while I'm at it, I'm going to clean up the inside here and give it just a fresh coat. I did a little bit over there, how nice that looks. And then the tape, when you're taping, if you haven't taped before, you just try to get it close to the edges as you can. So when you spray the paint on, it doesn't hit anything else. And then when you take this off, it looks really good. So I'm not a painter, but I realize that taping is pretty important. Well, and this Jeepney hasn't been started for a couple months. We've been here in the garage. I've been playing around with it, as you know. It's looking really shiny and pretty. And I think that's some air in the tires that were kind of low. And put some water in the radiator and started. And it took a little bit to get it started. It's sitting and it's running down just fine. Isn't that cool? It's coming along. Right, Rusty? What do you think, Rusty? People that follow me on some of my adventures, or misadventures here in the Philippines, Jeepney's painted, and I got it started and drove around the neighborhood. It ran, the brakes worked. I still got more work to do on it, but it sure is looking, it's looking so much prettier than it was before with the red and silver. I got most of the chrome on this side polished up. I still have to polish up the other side, but really to look good, it really needs. I gotta get some tires, and the interior really just some seat covers will look good. I think that might be all we need to do with this thing. Some mechanical stuff. How cool is this?